Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, has known since he was a young boy that he is second in line to the throne of England. This affects every aspect of his life: his education, military service, marriage, and family. William has proven his readiness for his future role.
There are moments when the world stops spinning, when millions of hearts beat in unison, suspended between disbelief and sorrow. This is one of those moments. Just hours ago, news emerged from the walls of Buckingham Palace that no one saw coming. News about Prince William that has left an entire nation searching for words that don't exist. The future king, the man who has carried the hopes of a generation on his shoulders.
Conservationist, father, and future king. Prince William is Britain's most popular royal after his grandmother, the Queen.
Now finds himself at the center of something so deeply personal, so unexpectedly painful, that even the most seasoned royal observers are struggling to make sense of it. The palace gates stand silent. The sky over London hangs heavy with clouds. And across Britain, people are asking the same question. How did we get here? What could have happened to the prince who always seemed so steady, so unbreakable? The answers are slowly emerging, and they're more heartbreaking than anyone imagined. Before we go further, make sure you're subscribed and drop your thoughts in the comments below. This is a story that touches all of us, and your voice matters as we witness this historic moment together. A kingdom holds its breath. The news didn't arrive with fanfare or ceremony. It came quietly, almost reluctantly, in a statement that felt stripped of the usual royal formality. The words were careful, but couldn't hide the emotion beneath them. The royal household acknowledged that William is navigating an incredibly challenging and deeply private time. They asked for understanding and space as the family works through this together. Those brief sentences were all it took. Within moments, the internet exploded. News channels interrupted their regular programming. Social media platforms lit up with shock and sympathy. The name Prince William climbed to the top of every trending list worldwide. People everywhere stopped what they were doing. In cafes, conversations halted mid-sentence. On buses and trains, passengers stared at their phones in stunned silence. At kitchen tables across the country, families gathered around screens, trying to understand what this all meant. The man who walked beside his grieving father during Queen Elizabeth's funeral.
The UK bid its final farewell to Queen Elizabeth II with a state funeral and military processions. The nearly 9-hour-long ceremony began from Westminster Abbey.
The father of three who always managed to smile through the pressure. The son who carried the memory of his mother with quiet dignity. That man was now facing something that had brought even the mighty institution of the monarchy to a moment of vulnerability. What makes this revelation so shocking is timing. For months, William had maintained his public schedule with the same dedication he's shown throughout his life. Yes, there were moments when he looked tired. Yes, there were times when his smile seemed a little forced, but nobody expected this. Royal watchers who have followed the family for decades admit they missed the signs. The palace, known for its ability to project strength and stability, suddenly felt fragile. And the prince who represented the monarchy's future now seemed caught between the weight of duty and the reality of being human. When the palace finally spoke. According to sources close to the situation, the decision to release any statement at all came after long discussions behind closed doors. Senior royals debated whether silence might be better, whether privacy should take priority over transparency. But William himself reportedly pushed for honesty. He has always believed that connection with the public matters, that authenticity counts for something in a world obsessed with perfection. So the truth was shared, even though it opened the door to endless speculation and scrutiny. Even though it meant showing weakness in an institution built on projecting strength. The reaction from the British people has been overwhelming. Outside Buckingham Palace, flowers began appearing almost immediately.
Well, a vast sea of floral tributes are spreading along the parks around Buckingham Palace as well-wishers gather to pay their respects.
small bouquets left by individuals who felt compelled to do something, anything, to show support. Handwritten notes tucked between stems carried messages simple but profound. We stand with you. You're not alone. Stay strong for your family. The iron gates that usually separate royalty from ordinary citizens now felt like a bridge, a place where shared humanity mattered more than titles or tradition. Television presenters spoke with unusual softness in their voices. Even journalists known for their tough questions seemed to struggle with how to discuss this news. There was no scandal here, no controversy to dissect, just pain, raw and real and impossible to sensationalize. Experts invited to comment found themselves at a loss. What do you say when the story isn't about politics or protocol, but about a person's private suffering? How do you analyze grief? Around the world, messages of support flooded in. Leaders from Commonwealth nations sent private notes. Charities that William has championed for years released statements expressing gratitude and concern. People who had met him once at events recalled his kindness and warmth. Strangers who had never given much thought to the royal family found themselves unexpectedly moved. Because this wasn't just about a prince anymore. It was about recognizing that no amount of privilege can shield anyone from life's hardest moments. Inside the palace walls, the atmosphere is reportedly subdued. Staff members who have worked there for years describe a heaviness they've rarely felt before. There's a sense that something fundamental has shifted. The monarchy has always operated on the principle that duty comes first, that personal struggles stay private, that the show must go on no matter what. But this moment challenges all of that. It asks whether an institution can be both strong and vulnerable, whether a future king can be human and heroic at the same time. Close friends of William and Kate have asked the media to respect their space. They've described this period as one of the most difficult the couple has ever faced.
How your wife is. It's been a tough year for you. How is the princess?
She's doing really well. No, she's been amazing this whole year.
Behind the public image of the perfect royal marriage lies a partnership being tested in ways that few relationships ever experience. Kate, who has stood beside William through every public appearance and private struggle, is now reportedly focused entirely on keeping their family grounded. She knows their 3 children are watching and learning how their parents handle crisis. She wants them to see strength, but also compassion. She wants their home to remain a safe place, even as the world outside demands answers. For years, Prince William has been the one everyone looked to for reassurance. When the Queen passed away, he stood strong beside his father. When Harry stepped away from royal duties,
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle have stepped back from the royal life, from their royal duties. They want to become financially independent.
William carried more responsibility without complaint. When the monarchy faced criticism for being out of touch, he worked to modernize its image while respecting tradition. He has been the bridge between past and future, the steady hand guiding the institution through turbulent times. But who holds him up when he needs support? Who reminds him that it's okay to not be okay? The truth is that William has lived his entire life under a microscope that magnifies everything. Every stumble becomes a story. Every private moment gets dissected by millions of strangers. He was born into a role he didn't choose, trained from childhood to prioritize country over self, taught that showing emotion is weakness. The pressure to be perfect has followed him since he could walk. And now, in this moment of vulnerability, the world is finally seeing what that pressure costs. A nation united in compassion. Royal historians point out that this isn't the first time the monarchy has faced such moments. Every generation has had its trials. But there's something uniquely painful about watching it happen to William. Perhaps because so many people watched him grow up. Perhaps because he represents hope for a more modern, more relatable royal family. Or perhaps because deep down, everyone understands that being born into royalty doesn't make you immune to heartbreak. It just means you have to grieve in public while the world watches and judges and waits for you to be strong again. CNN royal correspondent recently noted that the outpouring of support for William mirrors what happened after Princess Diana's death, but with a crucial difference. Back then, there was anger at the institution for how it had treated her. Now, there's compassion for the institution because people recognize that even royals are prisoners of expectation. The narrative has shifted. Instead of seeing the palace as cold and uncaring, many now view it as a gilded cage that traps those inside behind duty and tradition. As the first day after the announcement drew to a close, candles were lit outside royal residences across the country. Vigils held not in spectacle, but in quiet solidarity. The British people, known for their stiff upper lip and emotional reserve, showed a tenderness that surprised even themselves. Because this story isn't about gossip or scandal. It's about recognizing pain and responding with humanity. It's about understanding that sometimes the bravest thing a person can do is admit they're struggling. The prince behind the title. Behind every crown lies a weight invisible to those who observe from the outside. The British monarchy, for all its pageantry and power, operates under rules that would crush most people. From the moment William was born, cameras captured his first breath.
It's a prince, a 7-pound, 1.5-ounce boy, born late today to Prince Charles and the Princess of Wales, Lady Diana.
His childhood wasn't measured in scraped knees and carefree laughter, but in public appearances and lessons about duty. He learned early that his life belonged not to him, but to history. That his choices would echo through generations. That privacy was a luxury he would never truly know. Growing up royal meant growing up watched. Every tantrum was documented, every awkward phase dissected by tabloids, every girlfriend scrutinized until the relationship crumbled under pressure. When his mother died, his grief became public property. The world watched 2 young boys walk behind their mother's coffin, and while millions wept for them, those boys had to maintain composure. They had to represent dignity while their hearts shattered. That image, William in his dark suit with his head bowed, became seared into global consciousness. It was the moment everyone realized that royal children bleed just like everyone else. As William grew into adulthood, the expectations only intensified. He wasn't just representing himself anymore. He was representing the future of an institution that has survived centuries through adaptation and endurance. Every speech had to be perfect. Every public appearance had to send the right message. Every decision had to balance tradition with modernity. And through it all, he maintained the image of someone who had it all together. Someone for whom this life came naturally. But friends who know him well tell a different story. They describe a man who craves normalcy with an intensity that breaks your heart. Someone who wishes he could take his kids to the park without security. Who wants to have dinner with his wife without worrying about who's watching or photographing them. Who longs for the freedom to make mistakes without them becoming national news. William has always understood his duty, has never shirked his responsibilities. But understanding duty doesn't make it any less exhausting. The demands of royal life are relentless. There's no calling in sick when you're tired. No taking a mental health day when the pressure becomes too much. The schedule marches on regardless of how you feel. Public engagements, charity work, state functions, family obligations, all of it stacked on top of trying to be a good husband and father, trying to give his children the childhood he never had, while preparing them for the roles they'll one day have to fill. The contradiction is exhausting. How do you protect your kids from the spotlight while also preparing them to step into it? Kate has been his anchor through all of it. According to those close to the couple, she understood what she was signing up for when she married William. But understanding something intellectually and living it daily are two very different things. She's faced her own battles with intense media scrutiny, every outfit analyzed, every parenting choice questioned. Every time she appears in public, her body language gets dissected by experts. Yet she's managed to maintain grace under pressure that's frankly remarkable. She learned early on that showing weakness invites attack. so she perfected the art of looking composed even when she's falling apart inside. Now, as William faces this crisis, Kate is reportedly the one holding everything together behind closed doors. She's managing the children's routines, making sure they feel safe and loved. She's standing beside her husband, reminding him that he doesn't have to face this alone. She's become the strength he needs when his own reserves run dry. Friends say their marriage has never been stronger, forged in fire and emerging unbreakable. They've learned that when the world demands perfection, the only way to survive is to be imperfect together. The pattern history cannot escape. Recent reports from palace insiders, shared through various media outlets including YouTube royal correspondents who have decades of experience, suggest that William had been showing signs of strain for months. Missed engagements explained away as scheduling conflicts, appearances where he seemed distant or distracted, moments when the carefully maintained facade slipped just enough for observers to wonder if everything was truly okay. But the palace machine kept moving, maintaining the illusion that all was well. Because admitting struggle feels like admitting failure when you're part of an institution built on projecting strength. The parallel to his mother's story is impossible to ignore. Diana also struggled under the weight of royal expectations. She also felt trapped by protocols that valued appearance over authenticity. She also battled the isolation that comes with being constantly watched but rarely truly seen. William grew up witnessing her pain, understanding from a young age that the crown can be both a privilege and a prison. He vowed to do things differently, to protect his family in ways his mother wasn't protected. But some patterns are stronger than individual will. Some systems resist change even when change is desperately needed. History shows us that the monarchy has always demanded sacrifice. Queen Elizabeth ruled with stoic dedication for 70 years.
Queen Elizabeth will mark 70 years on the throne. She's the longest reigning British monarch in history,
rarely showing emotion publicly even during her darkest moments. She set a standard of duty above all else that shaped how every royal since has been expected to behave. King Charles waited decades to fulfill his destiny, watching opportunities pass while fulfilling obligations. Every generation pays the price of tradition. Every prince and princess learns that personal happiness comes second to institutional survival. But something is shifting. The modern world doesn't accept suffering in silence the way previous generations did. People want authenticity, vulnerability, connection. They want to see the humans behind the titles. And William, perhaps more than any royal before him, understands this. His decision to allow this news to become public, to acknowledge struggle rather than hide it, represents a fundamental change in how the monarchy operates. It's a gamble. Showing weakness could undermine confidence in his ability to lead, but hiding truth in an age of transparency feels impossible. Support for William has been nearly universal. According to polling data mentioned in recent news coverage, over 80% of Britons express sympathy for what the prince is facing. That number crosses political lines, age groups, and social classes. In a divided nation, this is one issue that unites people. Perhaps because everyone has faced moments when life felt overwhelming. Perhaps because vulnerability creates connection in ways that perfection never can. Or perhaps because people are finally recognizing that the royal family, for all its privilege, pays a price that few would willingly accept. Where hope meets humanity. The coming weeks will test the monarchy in ways it hasn't been tested before. Decisions made now will shape not just William's future, but the institution's future. Will he step back from duties temporarily? Will other royals step forward to shoulder more responsibility? Will the palace continue to share updates, or will the shutters close again, leaving the public to speculate? Nobody knows yet, not even those inside the palace walls. What we do know is this: Prince William is not alone. His wife stands beside him. His father supports him. His children need him, and an entire nation, perhaps an entire world, holds space for his healing. The flowers outside Buckingham Palace keep growing. The candles keep burning. The messages keep arriving. And in that collective compassion lies something powerful, a reminder that even in our darkest moments, humanity endures. The crown will remain. The monarchy will survive. But perhaps it will survive differently now. Perhaps this moment becomes the turning point where duty and humanity find balance, where princes can be human without being seen as weak, where showing emotion becomes strength rather than failure. Perhaps William's willingness to be vulnerable today creates space for future generations to be honest about their own struggles. As London sleeps tonight and the palace lights dim, one image remains. A prince who represents a nation's future, now teaching that nation something more important than duty. He's teaching that it's okay to not be okay, that asking for help isn't weakness, that behind every crown, every title, every carefully constructed image beats a heart that can break. And when it does, the most courageous thing you can do is admit it, seek support, and remember that you don't have to carry the weight alone. This is Prince William's moment of truth. And through his vulnerability, he may become not just a future king, but the king Britain actually needs, one who leads not from distance, but from shared humanity. One who proves that the greatest strength isn't pretending you're unbreakable. It's breaking and choosing to rebuild anyway. The story continues, but one thing is certain. The world is watching, hoping, and standing with the man who one day will wear the crown, but today simply needs the same thing we all do: understanding, compassion, and the space to heal. If this story touched your heart, hit that like button right now. Share this with someone who needs to hear that it's okay to struggle, no matter who you are. Drop your thoughts and prayers for Prince William and his family in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss important updates about the royal family. Together, we're witnessing history unfold, and your support matters. Let's send our love and strength to a prince who has given so much to his country. Share this message of hope, because sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is simply let someone know they're not alone.